So ill-meaning enemies often did cause me sorrow the sorest. I served them in quittance with my dear loved sword, as in sooth it was fitting. They missed the pleasure of feasting abundantly, ill-doers evil, of eating my body, of surrounding the banquet deep in the ocean. But wounded with edges early at morning, they were stretched high on the strand of the ocean, put to sleep with the sword, that seagoing travelers no longer thereafter were hindered from sailing the foam-dashing currents. Came a light from the east, God's beautiful beacon. The billows subsided, that well I could see the nesses projecting, the blustering crags. Weird often saveth the undoomed hero, if doughty his valor. But me did it fortune to fell with my weapon 9 of the knickers. Of night struggle harder neath dome of the heaven heard I but rarely, nor of wight more woeful in the waves of the ocean. Yet I scaped with my life the grip of the monsters, weary from travel. Then the waters bear me to the land of the Finns, the flood with the current, the weltering waves. Not a word hath been told me of deeds so daring done by thee, Unferth, and of sword terror none. Never hath Brecca at the play of the battle, nor either of you two, feat so fearless performed with weapons glinting and gleaming. I utter no boasting. Though with cold-blooded cruelty thou killedst thy brothers, thy nearest of kin, thou needs must in hell get direful damnation, though doughty thy wisdom. I tell thee in earnest, offspring of Echlaf, never had Grendel such numberless horrors, the direful demon, done to thy liege lord, harrying in Heorot. If thy heart were as sturdy, thy mood as ferocious as thou dost describe them, he hath found out fully that the fierce burning hatred, the edge battle eager of all of your kindred, of the victory Skildings, need little dismay him. Oaths he exacteth, not any he spares of the folk of the Danemen, but fighteth with pleasure, killeth and feasteth, no contest expecteth from spear Danish people. But the prowess and valor of the earls of the Geatmen early shall venture to give him a grapple. He shall go who is able bravely to banquet, when the bright light of morning which the second day bringeth, the sun in its ether robes, or children of men shines from the southward. Then the gray-haired war-famed giver of treasure was blithesome and joyous. The bright Danish ruler expected assistance. The people's protector heard from Beowulf his bold resolution. There was laughter of heroes. Loud was the chatter, the words were winsome. Rafael advanced then, consort of Hrothgar, of courtesy mindful, gold-decked saluted the men in the building, and the freeborn woman the beaker presented to the lord of the kingdom, first of the East Danes, bade him be blithesome when beer was a-flowing, lief to his liegemen. He lustily tasted of banquet and beaker, battle-famed ruler. The Helmingish lady then graciously circled mid all the liegemen lesser and greater. Treasure cups tendered, till time was afforded that the decorous-mooded, diademed folk-queen might bear to Beowulf the bumper o'errunning. She greeted the Geat prince. God did she thank, most wise in her words, that her wish was accomplished, that in any of earlmen she ever should look for solace in sorrow. He accepted the beaker, battle-bold warrior, at Wealhtheow's giving. Then, equipped for combat, quoth he in measures, Beowulf spake, offspring of Echlaf. I purposed in spirit when I mounted the ocean, when I boarded my boat with a band of my liegemen, I would work to the fullest the will of your people, or in foes' clutches fastened fall in the battle. Deeds I shall do of daring and prowess, or the last of my life days live in this mead hall. These words to the lady were welcome and pleasing. the boast of the Geatman. With gold trappings broidered went the freeborn folk queen her fond lord to sit by. Then again as of yore was heard in the building courtly discussion, conquerors shouting, heroes were happy, till Healfdena's son would go to his slumber to seek for refreshing. For the horrid hell monster in the hall building knew he a fight was determined, since the light of the sun they no longer could see, and lowering darkness o'er all had descended, and dark under heaven shadowy shapes came shying around them. The liegemen all rose then, one saluted the other, Hrothgar Beowulf, in rhythmical measures, wishing him well, and the wassail hall giving to his care and keeping, quoth he, departing, "Not to anyone else have I ever entrusted, but thee and thee only, the hall of the Danemen, since high I could heave my hand and my buckler. Take thou in charge now the noblest of houses. Be mindful of honor, exhibiting prowess, watch 'gainst the foeman. Thou shalt want no enjoyments, survive thou safely adventures so glorious." Thank you so much for watching, folks. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button, and consider subscribing for more videos like this one every Wednesday.